Good evening, good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Keisha, your brother Tad, and your brother Ashe SJ, along with brother Blacksmith and sister Marcia. Will be joining us in a few. Glad to have you all black again with us. It's going down tonight. We continuing to celebrate Black History Month. I hope this month is a kickoff to continue study throughout the year for a lot of folks. Oftentimes, because so much is thrown at us, we like to put our story to the side and everybody get gung ho, when it's February. But I want you to keep that same energy throughout the year because our history is so vast. It's so much for us to learn and to know. And, you know, I've been studying our history for years and I still ain't, uh, nothing but a pedal in a pool of water as far as I'm concerned. Because, for me, history is a blueprint to how I live my life, how I engage with family and friends, how I approach political situations, how I do this journalistic job, how I progress in life. History is my guide to everything. So I want all of you to try to use history as a guide in everything that you do. And if you did that, it would make your life much easier. Your mind will be much clearer, I should say. Okay. So we also have some guests for you tonight. The founders and owners of Plant-Based Kitchen. I can't wait to get them in here. Chef A and Sister Toni McCullough will be joining us in the second hour of our broadcast. Shout out to the BK William Mackey History Club. They did the damn thing last night with Brother Trust Graham, studying our brother Thomas Alexandria Dumas. So I think Trust Graham will be turning in another 2 weeks to the History Club to finish his presentation. If you missed the first one last night, the repost is on our Thorough Black Talk Facebook page, so you can catch it there. We also encourage you to share and spread our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We definitely appreciate that and appreciate you all for joining us. It's good to get with people of like minds to let the world know that you ain't totally crazy, right? Shout out to the sister Cheryl Phoenix out of the UK who has been keeping up with the story of a young, I believe she was 14 years of age, jumped by a bunch of young British girls. And so, our sister, if you've been following Thorough Black Talk Worldview, you know we had Sister Cheryl Phoenix on here before, and she operates out of the UK and out of Ghana. So, I'm appreciative of her for sharing intel about what's happening and hopefully we'll get her on in a future broadcast again to give us the 411. You got to have allies in this medium across the globe in order for us to do our job successfully. All right, some shout out to Sister Marie, sorry, Raymond. Keep them videos coming, sis. I like your music videos. you know, I need that smile during the day, so I appreciate that. Funny business going on here. I don't want y'all to be sending me no DMs, no funny business. We don't get down like that over here. I just like the sister videos. She should be doing her thing. I like it. So keep it coming, sis. I appreciate it. She said, I have been teaching the children about Dessalines. Oh my God. I have to record them so you hear what the children say about them. Oh, yes, we would love that, sister. We would love to hear what the children are saying, in your class. And shout out to all the educators out there. It's not easy for them to do their job when you have so many problems with the school system, with parents dealing with their issues, and teachers are not given their just due, especially Black teachers. They are not given their just due. In fact, when you look on various social media platforms, it seems to be the norm to disrespect Black teachers. And so, shout out to you, Sister Marie, and all you do. One of the topics we're going to discuss tonight, I think you might be interested in because um, this person that I'm going to be talking about had a partner out of Baltimore, and hopefully later on in the year I can probably get down to be more and do a lecture down there on these kidnapping groups that formed out of Boston, out of New York, out of Baltimore, and areas like Detroit. So, and that's where my research has led me thus far. I'm sure there are other municipalities that were involved, but this is where and Philadelphia. Shout out to Empress Filet and MWM on the check-in. You can definitely check out her broadcast every Saturday evening live on Blog Talk Radio, and we often post the broadcast on Thorough Black Talk. So in case you miss it, you can always catch it over there because that's what we're about over here. Ain't no hateration over here. We work together. We got our own thing over here. We don't get down like that. If you win, I win. That's it. That's how I see it. You know. So shout out to Empress Filet. And I think um, I would be remiss, if I don't mention that she is the founder of the original Million Woman March. Um, I was there. Definitely an eye opener for me. And peace be upon my cousin Teresa. I see my Aunt Marie in the check in. Shout out to Aunt Marie. But I don't know if you know Aunt Marie. Me and TT went there together. In fact, TT made me go. I had no intentions of going to the Million Woman March. That was my party days. I was in the club. Stop playing with me. And I just come home that morning too. T told me and she was, I need everybody. Somebody got a bus in Woman March. I said, yeah, I got some people. I got you. How many seats you need? 3. I said, all right, bet. So I reached out to, my peoples in Fort Greene who I knew had a bus going down. And I said, hook me up. My cousin need 3 seats. She was like, all right. I called cousin TT back and I'm like, all right, we got your 3 seats. She said, yeah, one for me, you, and Nay. I said, me, you, and who? Ah, man, I gotta go sleep. I just got in here. I'm not trying to go nowhere. But, in my family, when your elders tell you to do something, you do it. So I met up with her, ended up going, best day of my life, changed my life significantly. So shout out to Empress Filet and MWM and all that you were doing. Matter of fact, when we was out there on Marine, me and TT, we and Nay, shout out to Nay, we met up with some sisters from Louisiana. And these sisters from Louisiana actually fed us, right? Because the lines were so long to get food. And one of the elder sisters who was out there, I never met these people before in my life, but they had some fried chicken that was off the chain. But anyway, I ended up getting to the front of the stage and to see Betty Shabazz, Jada Pinkett and Sister Soldier and Mama Khadijah Muhammad, and I was fortunate, and so I'm forever thankful to MWM and Empress Filet for putting it. Could you imagine being literally at the foot of Winnie Mandela? That's where I was. My eyes was big. You would have thought I was a smoker. That's how my eyes was big like this. So, I had a great time and I learned a lot and I've been on a journey ever since. So, shout out to my cousin. Peace out, what's up? She said, yeah. Yeah, I told the family about that. Yeah, TD, her and Nate, they was troublemakers. Y'all already know. So, I was the youngin' in the group. So, don't blame on me, cuz that's how they was getting down. Abibi Fahode, Sister Farnessa, shout out to you and all that you are doing. keep spreading that information on social media. It is much, much appreciated. So tonight, family, let's get into it. Now, remember, I think it was last week or the week before, we started out talking about people in positive in our history, right? Because we get so much bad news, so much. It's like every second of the day, it's a bombardment, brother Tad. And everybody's, still getting beat by the police, still getting murdered by police. You have children who are being raped. You got children, excuse me, who are still being kidnapped out here, especially little black girls. And nobody's talking about this. Except New Day Liberation. New Day Liberation Radio have always been in the forefront of speaking about what's happening to young girls and black women. Um, I would say that they have led the charge on this issue. Um, every week or every other day, Empress Filet is sending me some stuff. I think she just sent me some a minute ago. I didn't get a chance to check it out yet, but I will. But this is an everyday occurrence for her to record what's happening to, you know, our people and broadcast that for, the listening ear and viewers who want to find out what's happening to young girls and black women here in these United Snakes of America. Staying in that vein, um, here in New York in the mid 1800s, because allegedly, I'm going to use that word, allegedly, slavery was abolished. Shout out to Brother Lumumba on the check in. Got to give you love, my brother. But what was I saying? Oh, yes, that in that same vein, in the mid 1800s, allegedly, slavery was abolished here in New York in 1827. Now, what was happening is you still had all the wealthy, excuse me, tycoons out of New York who relied heavily on the slave trade, right? Um, so they were heavy investors, right? Businessmen and the government alike. And I'm going to prove that to you in a few minutes. So they were all complicit in keeping slavery afloat because of the revenue that was coming out of it, right? So you had in northern cities like New York, um, who would capture, in particular, young black children on their way to free black children. Now, these are black children of free parents, never been enslaved, none of that. Because remember, here in New York, I think the count in that time, I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it was like 60,000 free black people here in New York. I can check that in a few, and I sure will. But anyway, these were free black children who were going on their way to school, who were being kidnapped and sold to slave owners in the South, right? I know you all have seen the movie 12 Years a Slave, so you understand how that happened. But that story is minute compared to what was really happening, right? And you had brothers like David Ruggles and others who formed abolitionist societies to, number one, record the kidnappings, two, to investigate them, three, to report them, and four, to bring about charges against municipalities to stop the kidnapping from happening. Literally, that was the name of the club, the New York Kidnapping Club. Y'all can look that up. I don't got to make this stuff up. Look it up. But anyway, and again, they had partners out of Boston. Boston was heavy. They had their own kidnapping club. Baltimore had a kidnapping club. Detroit, Michigan had a kidnapping club. And all of them were working in tandem with each other. Now, I know you hear Oftentimes, when, let's say, for example, our people are assaulted or murdered by law enforcement, right? Automatically, civil case takes a foot, and there is a certain amount of dollars allotted per municipality of what um, litigants can have. Now, you think about 1827. $500 in 1827 was a hell of a lot of money back then. So you had black groups suing New York municipalities, and they were awarded up to like $500 and the like. But this government is so wicked. They predicted these things to continuously happen. So they automatically allotted money to be rewarded if you can prove these things happen to you. And that was very rare because remember, you had the police department who was complicit, you had the district attorney, you had aldermen, you had the governor, like Governor Marcy, who were complicit in this. You had people who, listen, you had business leaders and insurance companies who were, and the Democratic Party, who also were complicit in these kidnapping clubs. And again, I'm going to prove this all to you a little bit later. So I want you to keep that in the back of your mind as we go through this tonight. What's up, Uncle Jess? It's my favorite uncle in the building right there. So anyway, these are things that were happening here in New York. And we're going to get into that in a few minutes. I see Brother Tad is working out some issues. We'll let him figure these things out. I don't know why they're playing with. I have to send the owners of this network an email because we've been having a lot of problems here. And we shouldn't be. Not for the money we pay. But anyway, for this stream. What's up, Brother Tad? How you feeling?
Oh man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Life is good. I'm feeling blessed. It's good to be back. Shout out to all of our people, Sister Farnessa, everybody else on the check-in. Now I'm just sitting here listening to the jewels you drop and listen to the brothers argue outside. It's like, yeah, welcome to the hood, right? I mean, we know our folks, we got some things to work out. We definitely got some things to work out. I mean, here we got to deal with society and the quote unquote powers that be, and then we got to deal with the subjection that they put onto us of us devaluing our own life and our own brothers' lives. It is what it is. That's why the struggle continues, sis. Other than that, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
As you say, it's good unless the judge give it to us, right?
All right, life is good
We
unless
don't
the
need
judge. You.
we don't want them kind of problems. Please,
No,
Lord.
we don't. We don't. We
I
don't.
already got some legal battles I'm dealing with right now. So anyway, that's another story for another time. Uh, Sister Pat, shout out to you. Did you see them pictures I sent you last night? I got a picture of you and Claudette Colvin. I don't know if I sent that to you yet, sis. So you gotta let me know if I didn't. I'll send it to you. No worries. But let's check this out, family. Let me see. Investor. Give me one second, family. I got so many pages open. It's ridiculous. That's my fault. I'm a bad hombre over here. All right. So, you had. Let me see. I think I can switch this. Can y'all see that? No, right? You can't see that. Let me stop this for a second, and I will present. Give me one second, because I want y'all to see. That's why I don't rock with no Democratic Party at all. At all. And this is one of the reasons why the Democratic Party panders to the black community, right? Because if you knew the truth as it relates to this issue with reparations, these municipalities were complicit, and and you deserve to sue them. And they want to hide the history. This is why they are tampering with the First Amendment, keep you from saying certain things, keeping us in journalism from reporting on certain things. So you don't know this. You're looking for some mysterious slave master. That ain't how it rock. So anyway, I want to read this. I hope you all can see it. Tag, can you see that screen? We good?
No, it's not up yet.
I guess so.
It's not up.
It's not up there. Wow.
No.
All right, hold on. Here we go. Here we
There,
go. We got it. Can you see it
there
now?
it goes. Yep.
All right. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Let's rock, family. So it says right here, I tried to highlight it, but forgive me. This is how I take notes. That's why my books be looking crazy. Don't judge me. Leave me alone. All right. It says New York was the most potent pro slavery and pro South city north of the Mason Dixon line, due in large part to the lucrative slave trade, the lucrative trade between Manhattan banks and insurance companies and the slaveholders of the Cotton South. The city council, the board of aldermen, the mayor, the police department, the legal system, and other city agencies seldom acted without consulting the business community. Whether Wall Street businessmen joined the Democratic Party mm, or the opposition Whig Party, they agreed almost to a man about one thing: the need to protect the cotton trade with slaveholders that had made them incredibly wealthy. It was a system that rendered both sections of the nation heavily dependent on the continuance of slavery and the constitutional government that made the trade possible. Let me read that again. The constitutional government that made the that had made the trade possible, merely mentioning the abolition of slavery, quickly earned the scorn of those on Wall Street and in the Democratic Party, who knew exactly where their wealth came from. So again, family, I'm not making this stuff up. I don't tell y'all no lies. We have bad karma with the Democratic Party because we have no business in it. And when you understand the history, hold on a second. I don't know why this thing is acting crazy today. I don't know. They messing with us, Brother Tide. But anyway, give
They
me
don't
one
want this
second,
info.
family. Bear with me. Bear with me. They don't. Especially Mayor Adams. Now, this highlighted part right here. New York Marshals, y'all heard me? Marshals are law enforcement. Last time I checked. Ain't that right, Brother Tad?
That's a fact.
New York Marshals, like the notorious Isaiah Reiners, a racist law officer known as one of the Democratic Party's most ruthless henchmen, actively aided slave catchers like Pope, Tobias, Botnot, and Daniel Nash, the ringleaders of the New York Kidnapping Club. I'm not making this stuff up. By the time Ben and his enslaved followers left Norfolk in the dead of night in 1832, Tobias Butnot, I can't pronounce that too good, I hope I am, was already fast earning a reputation for brawling and indebtedness, despite the fact that he was a member of the New York Police Department. Now, for all of you black brothers and sisters who are members of law enforcement, it's very important you understand the history. And if you understand the history, you understand why they treat you the way that they do. Both cigar smoking, rough talking brawler tried to arrest African American John Scott as a runaway by beating him with a fence post and tying his hands and feet with rope. Scott, however, sued Bitnart for assault in New York Court of Common Pleas. Scott and his heroic attorney, Horace Dresser, a man who would go on to defend many accused runaways, said Bitnart for 500 in damages in a suit that was later settled. Isn't that what they do now?
Yep.
When police officers beat you, they do that now. I told you, it's already figured out in the city coffers what they're going to pay if these type of cases come before their court system. They have no intentions of stopping this behavior. Now, I have to say this to our people. We have a bad karma because we engage in things that we should not. And our ancestors are extremely upset, extremely upset. Wouldn't you be if your children were in cahoots with those raped and sold you into slavery? Come on, family. Come on, family. We got to think a little bit better here. And how long have black people been tied to the Democratic Party? How many black police chiefs have we had? How many black governors have we had? How many black mayors have we had? And now you got organizations like BLM because the conversation of reparation is so high right now. You got organizations like BLM and others who are helping municipalities clean crime scene. You're getting rid of statues, you're getting rid of language, you're taking plaques off the walls. You're helping the criminal clean the crime scene. Now, I am not in law enforcement, though when I was in college, my major was police science. I am not in law enforcement. But I can guarantee you, anybody in law enforcement on the check-in can agree that when there's a crime and law enforcement pull up on the scene, what do? They rope it off, right? To check, look at the evidence. They want to protect the crime scene, right? You got groups out here cleaning up the damn crime scene for the criminals. And you wonder why we keep fighting for years and years and years and years and years. Because you are going against the history. The history should be your blueprint in a courtroom. Special thanks to attorney at War Automatics for teaching me that. You got to let history lead you in a courtroom. You can't talk about police brutality if you can't prove the history of it. You can't prove the history of it because you are helping them clean it up. Your comments, Brother Tad, on that.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. That's why I'm just sitting here. I mean, in total agreement. I often say that many of our people are not qualified to even speak about slavery because we don't know what it is. Many of us just think it was forced labor to pick cotton. They don't understand all the industries that was built around slavery. And that's why I was called that peculiar institution, because slavery is actually older than this country. Our enslavement, our oppression. So when we look at what we're dealing with today, we got to understand that we weren't born here to be a part of the American dream, but to facilitate it. But now that all the cotton is picked, all the sugar is picked, all the tobacco is picked, all the railroads are laid down, the White House is built, the roads are paved, the cities are flourishing, the culture is for sale now. We're no longer necessary, and we haven't been for a while. So this is why you see the mass extermination of us wholesale. Even when it came down to the how can I say it? Even when it came down to the crisis of 2020, I would say, because as you said, they even changed the language. So what happened to us in 2020, we can't even speak upon that without getting flagged and videos being pulled down for speaking truth. But we got to speak truth to power. But unfortunately, most people don't know what truth is. And sure enough, don't know what power is. We don't understand the power is in our unity, but also in us mobilizing in a specific direction that benefits us and anybody who may want to be a part of us, because we're here to give people the truth, at least as we see it, until new evidence come out to contradict us and prove us wrong. But I doubt there will be. We got to understand that we're now in the time of revelations. And not talking about biblical revelations, though it's fitting for these times, but just so much is being revealed now. So much about the agenda now. Years ago, when we were talking about this agenda to feminize our sons and teach our children about sex. People thought we were bugging out. People thought we were extremists. Only till it came into their house and their little 3-year-old daughters talking about she's a boy, or their 5-year-old son talking about he's a girl, and they want to identify with all these pronouns that against nature. Back to your point about changing the language, because now we're changing definitions. Now we're changing what slavery is. Now we can't talk about what has happened to us without other groups jumping and talking about their suffering. And granted, everybody suffered, but not to the capacity we have, because we're still fighting to get foot on our necks, literally. Because we could talk about Eric Garner, George Floyd, and the likes, literally fighting to get feet off of our necks. Meanwhile, folks can point to a small space in time where maybe a couple of people in their family were hurt. But with us, it was a mass extermination. You had the whole eugenics movement. You had slavery. You had the prison industrial complex. You had the miseducation system. All of these working in conjunctions just to attack us. Not one institution, but a myriad of law enforcement, insurance, banks, hospitals. All of these things conspired to get rid of us, not just hurt us, not just exploit us, but literally get us off the planet. And I mean, there's so much more we can talk about, but those are just my thoughts. Happy to see our sister Marcia Bois in the house. Sister Marcia, what's going on?
She back in the U.S. You back in the U.S. You back in the U.S.
I'm back in the US and I'm happy to be here. That's all I can say. It's been a whirlwind adventure these
That's what's
past.
up. It has. It has.
It's
But
only
I
been
wanted to continue. I hear you. Hold on, family. Now this part, you know, if you've ever visited anyone or have been in the New York penal system in upstate New York, every one of those penitentiaries were once a stop on the Underground Railroad. So now imagine, let's connect the dots. What was once the Underground Railroad are now penal systems where they house you. A lot of these housing projects are named after um, enslavers or those who were complicit in our enslavement, right? Now everybody knows who Jay-Z is, and Jay-Z comes out of Marcy Projects in Brooklyn, New York. Well, let's give a little history on Mr. Marcy. How about that? At the apex of the New York Kidnapping Club stood two police officers named Tobias Bernard and Daniel Nash. When Virginia's governor realized not only that Ben and his compatriots were absconded from Norfolk, Virginia, that means move secretly, um, look it up, but also had stolen a vessel in the process. He angrily fired off a letter to his counterpart in New York, Governor William Marcy, granted what not a wholesale right to arrest anyone he could even remotely accuse of being a runaway. Whatnot and his fellow officers, including Notorious Nash, used the Constitution's fugitive slave clause as a subterfuge to terrorize Black New Yorkers. The New York Kidnapping Club was born. Whatnot welded the document and he received from Marcy for the next 2 decades, using the paper so often that he eventually had to have it copied and signed at least once more. So he was pulling this out. Here's a little piece of paper saying, and the governor said I can capture these people. They look like runaways to me. So, Brother Tad, he's a grandfather and I'm a grandparent. Could you imagine our grandchildren going to school and they could be kidnapped and they accused of being runaway slaves? And the political establishment were complicit. So who do we fight? Who do we go to court and plead our case to? Who? Come on. Nobody. nobody. And not only that, but they led a system of terrorism. So this is what David Ruggles was fighting against. Now, this brother was bad. I mean, he went up against these folks by himself, pretty much dolo. Now, David Ruggles originally is out of Connecticut, but he ended up moving to Lower Manhattan. As a matter of fact, downtown on Lispinard Street, right off a canal, there is a plaque for him. And I have the picture of myself standing in front of the plaque. I gotta find that. But it's downtown Manhattan. It's a little plaque on a building which was once his home down there. Remember, I told y'all a little while ago that black people owned all of Lower Manhattan. Remember, I've said many times Washington Square Park was known as what? Land of the blacks. So we had all of that area, right? Which at that time, I guess it was called the 5 Points areas, right? You would call that the 5 Points areas.
Right.
So can you see? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Here we go. All right, I got it now. Let me expand this, raise it up here. I hope y'all can see that. Okay, though slavery would be abolished in 1827, strict racial segregation governed nearly every aspect of lives of black New Yorkers. Just a few years after the abolition of servitude. Remember, we were here working under the Dutch, right? Before the British came and then the English, right? So we were here. Go back to Thorough Black Talk Worldview. I did a whole history of us being here in the 1600s, right? Some bad black folks they wasn't playing. They wasn't playing. So continue reading. White New Yorker Thomas Rice birthed the infamous character of Jim Crow, performing in blackface at the Bowery Where Theater on the Lower East Side. Race was a what race was a complicated subject for most New Yorkers, as it was for most white Americans. Even if they opposed slavery for religious, moral, or economic reasons, white Northerners did not consider African Americans equal in intellectual capacity to Europeans and could not imagine in which black and white might work together, might work and live together in the same communities. Wealthy Jeremiah was a black bad dude. I mean, they call him the Black Hand, back then. The way he came up as a millionaire, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he might have been the first millionaire in this country. If I'm not, if I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But hold on, let me show y'all this. I don't be making stuff up. I like to bring the facts because I don't want nobody say Thorough Black Talk giving you foolishness. We don't do that over here. We don't do that. We go facts. Investor Jeremiah Hamilton was considered extreme outliers, almost accidental exceptions to the rule. The notion of a black doctor or senators would have been absurd to most whites. The notion of Americans one day electing a black president would have provoked immediate laughter and ridicule. Now, Jeremiah Hamilton, he was one of the wealthiest people, not alone black people, in this country at that time, right? Um, and Sister Marcia, it is reported that he is from Haiti. See, and this is why we have to understand history and the connections that we all have. A lot of people playing games out here, you try to separate us with foolishness. And you know that. You allow that because this is the blueprint that they have been given, so they can continue um, this history of terror. Jim Crow, blackface came out of New York City, not the South. New York City. I just told y'all, I just showed you. And the name of the book, it's called The New York Kidnapping Club. I'll
Wow.
get the cover for you in a minute so y'all can check it out.
And you know what's
Go ahead,
crazy, sister?
brother.
Anytime I think about Jim Crow, not only the fictitious laws created around it, around the fictitious character, but how we've now, some of us, have adopted the image and behavior of a fictitious character, of they who said black people are. I caught a glimpse of the Grammys. You know, I don't watch television much. You know, I have my little guilty pleasures like Power, BMF. You know, it's just my thing. Snowfall, uh, and watching the Grammys, the open worship of Satan, the blatant worship of Satan, the demonic celebration by Urugos. Like, we know who they are. You know, we're often told we can't fathom the depths of their evil, but we see it every day on display. And I don't think if nobody knows how wicked these folks can be, we know. As you talk about the Kidnap Club, I don't know if I ever shared a story with you, but one time I was talking to a professor at Fordham University over in Manhattan by 59th Street and Columbus Circle. And I found it so ironic. We were talking about community work, and he was telling me he has an organization that work with children in third world countries like Africa and South America, but he also working on a project with NASA to send spaceships out in space. He said, "Are you familiar with melanin?" Of course, you're gonna ask a black man, is he familiar with melanin? But this is the arrogance to think that I don't know what melanin is. So I said, "Yeah, I've heard of it." He said, "Yeah, well, it's a chemical that's in everybody's skin, and we harness that to coat the spaceships because these ships need melanin to protect its structure." And I was like, that's interesting. And I'm thinking how wild it is, because you're telling me that you need melanin to help these ships sustain this structure while it's in space. And at the same token, you're telling me you're working in third world countries like South America and Africa with children. And of course, they think we're all dumb, but we're aware of the global kidnapping that's taking place, to your point that they even had clubs here in this country. So I could connect the dots. Hey, Mr. Ruggles, you know, so that level of arrogance into the fact that they're still using it this day and time, because as we seen, Hillary Clinton was caught in her hands in the cookie jar in Haiti, stealing children from Haiti, and one of her people were caught stealing children from Haiti. And in fact, then she puts them, you know, first of all, she negotiates for their release from Haiti once they were arrested on kidnapping charges, but then put her in charge of the program of an adoption agency in Haiti. Like, the wickedness. So it goes back to your, when you talk about the demonic cratic party, because you can't call them Democrats. We got to call them demonic, because that's exactly what's happening, because they're the ones forcing this foolishness under everybody got a right to live. Yeah, I get that. But now we see, what are they calling it? MAPS. MAPS now, part of the plus, the LGBTQIA elemental PP plus plus. Now there's MAPS, minor attracted persons. But
Crazy.
10 years ago, we said this is what was coming down the line when everybody was waving the rainbow flag. And what they understood is that we understand what's afoot. We all had people of alternative lifestyles in our families. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. We've had people of alternative lifestyles. We've had people with alcohol abuse and substance abuse. We loved them the same. We didn't like the behavior, but we loved them. And they also knew that certain behaviors are not tolerated. But what these people did was open a floodgate. No, talk about it, be about it, touch children. It's okay. In fact, instruct the children that it's okay to be promiscuous, to be sexually active. And this is just demonic, because most adults don't know how to handle the responsibility of being sexually active, of intimate activities. So you can't expect a child to be able to deal with that responsibility, but here we are. And I'm glad that there's a turning tides, that more and more people around the world are standing up against this. And even if you see Donald Trump new campaign ads talking about 2024 when he runs, that he's ready to abolish all this LGBT, all this alphabet stuff. Now, this is not advocating for people to vote for Donald Trump, but what this is showing is that everybody is tired of it. White folks are tired of white folks stuff right now. I saw a video today where some trans men were trying to debate with natural men about what is a real man. Again, they're not qualified to speak on that. And this is just the days and times we in where, since we have social media and everybody now has a platform to express their thoughts, opinions, and ideas, no matter how idiotic they are. But with this inferior education system, it's producing idiots by the thousands. So all it's doing is echoing stupidity. Time and time again is reverberating throughout society. And I don't even know what to say no more, sis, but when you connect the dots and see how far back this goes, to kidnapping clubs, to clubs. So when we were talking about sex rings and kidnapping cults and all of this stuff, we were sounding crazy. But I always try to remind people that when you talk about our enslavement, our mayafa, our oppression here, it was based on global human trafficking in itself. It wasn't just forced labor. It's just to the fact that they went somewhere else and kidnapped millions of people. That's criminal in itself. Then come to somebody's land and steal the land, slaughter and massacre them. I mean, we can go deeper into this, but we only got an hour left. you know, if
Facts. And then we got our guests coming in a few. But true, indeed, everything you said, Brother Tad. And again, when we, as you said, we're talking about this progression of the letter crew and letting our folks know that the end goal was to legalize pedophilia, they were coming at us left, right, and center, calling us haters. Mark Lamar Hill, a whole bunch of other people called us all kind of haters and everything. I'm like, I don't even know you, dude. What are you talking about? But you know, now the world is seeing, and as you say, even Caucasian folks are saying enough is enough. You have a group who are pulling up to these schools and libraries who are saying, we don't want no drag story time over here. Take that to your house. And you have transgender people who are coming out and saying this is wrong. You
yeah,
have people of the letter crew who's saying this is wrong. You had, I think, Brother Tad or Sister Tam, because they like to mess with me. That's why I mess with them in the morning. Sent me something of what I'm saying, that why saying you as a parent, why would you take your child to take your child there? Why? Why are you allowing your 12-year-old child to go through gender reassignment surgery that we, the taxpayers, have to pay for? This is absurd. This is absurd. And we are accepting a lot of insanity. And it has to stop, family. It has to stop. This is why I believe personally we catching so much HE double LL hockey stick thing over here. Brother Black, I need you to mute. Could you mute
Can
yourself,
you hear
Brother
me?
Black? Okay, I gotta remove him until he fix it. So I just want our people to be a little bit more aware. Stop going with commentation and rhetoric, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. Now you got these people of the letter crew who are now professing to be, what do you call that? Trans age, right? So it's illegal for an adult to have sex with a 12-year-old. But if I identify as a 12-year-old, you can't stop me. You can't stop me. I identify as a 12-year-old. Heck, I am a 12-year-old. And I'm put some pigtails or whatever in my hair, and you gotta call me a 12-year-old. And if you don't call me a 12-year-old, I'm gonna make sure you're canceled.
But the insanity
You see
runs.
the insanity, and Sister Marcia, I gotta keep saying this. Dear voters,
Yes,
you gave them leverage to make it happen.
yes,
You have to accept accountability. Excuse me,
yeah,
accountability for your involvement in allowing the legislation of such.
yes. The
Now
insanity,
go listen. Go
and
ahead, sis.
we'll
I'm
vote.
sorry.
No, I said the insanity runs deep, and we'll vote for folks without understanding what the platform means. We'll say that they're
It's
they're, they're caring, but they're not. They're not caring for you as a collective. They're not caring for you as a body, as a voting block, because we don't understand how to do things as a unified block. We'll say some things, but we don't
see. Here's the thing. We don't even
solution.
have to do anything as a unified block. Right? We don't even have to because no people operate like that. We are not all in tandem together, but we should have the same philosophy, right? As a group, I agree. We have to have the same philosophy. No, you can't bring that stuff over here to us. Keep that over there with you. It's fine. We ain't bothering you. Don't bother us. Don't mandate us. We won't mandate you. Simple. Simple. We have to have the same philosophy on one accord. I am not, listen, true story. If Brother Mike Graves is on a check in, he could tell you this because this is a true story. We had gone to a gun show a few years back, right, in the state of Pennsylvania. I think it was, I forget. And yeah, in Pennsylvania. We get to the place, the section where they selling ammunition and discals, right? Discals are things that put on target. Brother, I that a BB to me. It's a disc that goes on your target. They were selling discals, Minister Louis Farrakhan, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, a whole bunch of other. Now, I'm, I'm telling you, they were selling them for 50 cents at that. Everybody on this platform know I don't rock with no damn Sharpton on no level, ever. But even in that arena, I wouldn't dare pick it up off the table. See what I'm saying? It's a philosophy we have to have. We have to have a certain philosophy in order for us to progress in this world. It's okay for us, as brothers have said, protect our culture. It belongs to us. Why are we fleecing it out? Why are we now in blackface and expect to progress? And you ain't making money. You don't deserve to. You fleece the culture. You shouldn't profit off it, dummy. You're not supposed to win from it. And people, I hate when black people say, well, other people don't listen. We are the first people. We dictate law as far as man, woman, and society operates. We were the first. The oldest remains. Now, Brother Tad is a historian too, so he could attest to what I'm saying. The oldest remains found in 3 sections of Africa, all female. They weren't white, they wasn't Asian, they wasn't whatever. When they found these remains, they found no written doctrine with these fossils. None. So anything that we are dealing with now was man made and made up. If the 3 oldest people on the planet didn't give you that blueprint, where the hell did it come from? We got to check a lot of things, and we wonder why we are suffering on every continent. We are suffering. We are suffering, family. We got to go back to the the original. That was a word. The original black woman was not found with any doctrine whatsoever. They found what do you call those plates? They found various rocks. They found fragments of cloth, right? Because two of them were wrapped in like a shroud. The one in Ethiopia and I think off the southern tip of South Africa, they were covered, or not wrapped, but covered with a shroud. So that was all that was found with them. So if we go back to the original, where did all this stuff come from? To work with other groups, to be involved in a political system that is not beneficial to you, to be involved with an economic system that's not beneficial to you, to be involved in a social system that is not beneficial to you. Where did it come from? And it comes from us, unfortunately, developing the same mentality of our abusers. This is why we can't win. Shout out to Brother Ashe on the check in. The fire god is here. What's up, Brother Ashe?
Brother Ashe.
Yeah. You right and exact. My big sister, my big bro Tab. What's the word, man? Everything is good on this side. Yo, it's just important. We always stress every time we get on the platform, know thyself. You know what I'm saying? And right now we in a time where this month, Black History Month, which is a very important month for us, we so sick, we start to inflict illness on ourselves and tell ourselves we shouldn't even celebrate Black History Month. Or what's the point of history? Why are we studying history? Why are we talking about old stuff? We supposed to be looking forward, talking about new stuff. You're supposed to do both. Last time I checked, I could chew gum and walk at the same time. My gum might be vegan, but I'm still chew my gum and walk at the same goddamn time, right? You know what I'm saying? But people is like, I don't know, man. It's like we getting dumber and dumber, but it's very important for us to know ourselves and study history and, not get too caught up in the hijinks. Like I like what my brother Taz said about, watching TV and things of that nature. Everybody got their things that they de-stress with as long as it's in balance. You know what I'm saying? But right now we in Black History Month, but we got more people concerned about the goddamn Super Bowl and who going to the Super Bowl this weekend and what chips you gonna buy snacks to have at the Super Bowl, what beer you gonna drink to watch the Super Bowl party, or who house you going to. You know what I'm saying? And we don't even know the historic dates that's happening in this month. And I always say, I think it's very goddamn suspicious that these devils playing the Super Bowl in the month of February. Ain't that funny? When they know the NFL is predominantly black. If it wasn't no black players, there would be no goddamn NFL, because ain't nobody going to pay no goddamn to see no white boys running around slow as hell. You know what I'm saying? Getting all, like it's still without black people, without black players, without black culture. You know what I'm saying? Without swag, without our touchdown dances and all of the cool things we bring to the sport. But seldom, or if ever, do you hear about Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? All you talk about is the Super Bowl and the NFL. People was more concerned with the dates of the Super Bowl and like what is Rihanna gonna perform? Because Rihanna's performing, and mind you, that's just the wool being pulled over our eyes once again. Once again, family. Because remember, wasn't we just boycotting it? I'm still boycotting it. NFL football used to be my favorite sport. Now my favorite sport is boxing. But I always love boxing. But now I prefer boxing over football. But I still love football as a sport. But I used to watch the NFL. I still don't really watch that joint. But the thing is, like, it's so funny that we was boycotting it for so long. Now every single year since it's been back, since we started like trying to get out the pandemic and they trying to end the boycott, haven't we had black performers at every goddamn halftime show? Who we had? 50 Cent, and Dr. Dre.
No, not Jay-Z.
Eminem,
Dr.
Rihanna
Dre.
now. Like ever since, like every year we have a black Beyonce. Yeah, it was Beyonce, I think, since the pandemic. Then we had Dr. Dre. Now we got Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? So it's everything. It's a cultural thing. They use us just like they use us to sell clothes. They put us on in a windows of their store and make it look like it's black, but really it's white people businesses. They use us. They using us again now, and we falling right for it. Oh, they got Rihanna. We're gonna go see Rihanna come back because it's her comeback. You know what I'm saying? But we more concerned with that. We don't even know the historic dates. Like I believe Huey P. Newton's birthday is coming up. It's the 17th, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? And Amos Wilson, another heavy hitter, his birthday is the 23rd of this month. Not to mention all the historical things, the struggle, the fight, the battles, the successes that we had in this month of February. And not just this month, the whole goddamn year, our history. We don't pay enough attention to that. We more focused on these celebrities, this football, the wool that's being pulled over our eyes. And these are the reasons why we are like what Keisha and Tad is saying. You know, we run away from ourselves. We act like we something different. We try to get more comfortable in a goddamn uncomfortable system, a system that was built to make us uncomfortable. No, we gonna bunch our way in. We gonna wiggle in this month. No, they can't tell me now. I'm a wiggle in. I'm a fit right in. That's all we want to do is just be more comfortable. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you already know the vibes up here. We just building with like-minded people that really want to make better of themselves, you know, and improve themselves and their character. And that's how you, once you go internal, everything external manifests itself already. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to keep pushing strong and holding firm. And that's how we gonna ride. But if y'all watching the NFL and the Super Bowl, don't get it twisted. I ain't saying don't go out there and have a good time, enjoy yourself. Life is short as hell. We dying by the goddamn jiffy, and not even the second, the jiffy. We out here dying. You know what I'm saying? But so enjoy yourself. But at the same time, I'm saying be conscious, be aware of what's going on. Watch it. If you're watching it, watch that joint and keep your third eye open. It's mad signals, mad mixed messages they be sending, especially the halftime, not the halftime show, the commercials. Ain't the commercials? That's like the biggest night for commercials every year. Like they spend the most money on marketing in those commercials. And who they marketing to? Who are they marketing to in those commercials? Black people. They marketing to us to take our goddamn dollars. And not only that, they using us and our faces and our culture. Or sometimes they're using people that don't look like us that's doing our culture. Because now they trying to just take, you know, trying to culture vulture the whole goddamn culture. They trying to have other people do that. Like we were saying last week, they got all these other races and people doing things and dances that only black people could do. But now they doing it with just a little less seasoning. But now they warming them up. A little less seasoning. It's a little bland. You don't taste the flavor, but they doing it. You know what I'm saying? They've been studying us for a long time. They studying us, and we not studying our goddamn selves. Family, don't ever let nobody tell you not to study Black history, family, because listen, that's us. That's who we are. Granted, we making history every day, but the real important history is studying the ancestors, studying the past, and learning from the losses. That's why Keisha put us on. I love how she said, study the losses in history. Because we get too caught up in, just the victories and things of that nature. And, we was in Kemet and things of that nature. Meanwhile, you can't tell me nowhere outside of Kemet. They got to have the goddamn white devils come in here and make a movie about a woman king and Wakanda to teach your ass about Black history. And that's not even Black history. Because then when they teach your ass, they give you the woman king, but they don't even give you the true story behind it. They give you Wakanda and Black Panther and take little pieces from the diaspora and put it together and make you think that Wakanda is a goddamn tribe in Africa. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't studying your Black history, you will really think, like, some of these kids, I beg to wonder, like, yo, do they really think that this is a real place? I wouldn't be surprised, family. Because we as adults are not having conversations and teaching the children, teaching the next generation about the true history. Like that, I'm going to pass the mic with this. I know we got our guests coming in, but remember, Tad, Sister Tam, shout out to everybody in the party organization. Keisha and Ashe, myself, got the opportunity to chaperone when we took the kids to see Black Panther. Shout out to Party. They rented the whole theater, took the kids out to see Black Panther, the first one. But I remember when I went, I was talking to the youth and I was like, yo, and I wore my Black Panther t-shirt specifically. I ain't talking about the Marvel joint. I'm talking about Huey P. Newton, Bobby Sale, all of that. And the kids didn't know who it was. And I was like, y'all don't know who Black Panthers are? Yeah. So I had an opportunity to teach them and let them know, like, all right, this person right here is so-and-so, this Huey Newton. on my shirt, and I'm teaching them and all of that. But their first experience of hearing of what a Black Panther is thinking it's a goddamn Marvel comic book. So that shows you right there that we dropped the ball. We didn't even teach, and these was like young teenagers. Maybe they was like 12 or 11 or something, but no younger than that, and they ain't know. So that's on us. That's our responsibility. We not studying our history, and we not teaching and regurgitating, doing what we normally do, them oratory skills, being a griot, passing that history on. Because if we not, they just gonna keep on making whitewash movies and telling our story and then doing our dances. And then next year, I won't be surprised if it's a goddamn devil doing a black dance for the Super Bowl. I ain't going. It's coming soon. They just warming you up. Every year, it's gonna be somebody that's less and less black for the Super Bowl. Warm your ass up, and then boom, they already had Eminem. Remember they had. Matter of fact, last year it was Dr. Dre, but one of the main highlights was Eminem because he performed with Dr. Dre. So you say they just sprinkle a little in, just sprinkle a little in, and it's up to us. If we don't stand up and study our history and be serious about it, they're gonna keep sprinkling in, and then we're gonna all be eating raisins. We're gonna be eating raisins and potato salad, family. So that's what I got to say, man. Is please enjoy life, but keep your awareness and your conscience up, man, for real.
My man O'Shea Jackson once said, pretty soon hip hop won't be so nice. No Ice Cube, just vanilla ice.
That's a fact.
For real.
Quick question for y'all. How old was Malcolm when he transitioned? He was murdered.
Young? Too young? I don't know.
I believe Malcolm was about 32.
39? 39?
No,
How old was King when he was killed? 39, right? David
both-
Ruggles also succumbed to injuries because he was often beaten. 39 years of age. Him as well. Him as well. So definitely, family, research the history of David Ruggles and the New York Kidnapping Club. I'll give y'all the book details if you want it for your own. I see we got our guests in queue. Let me see if I can bring them up. I don't know what's happening with Marcia and Brother Black, but we got our crew in the building. Now, myself, Ed and Ashe, I look at their workout routines. I see how they're doing things, right? We learn from each other, right? Still sharpen still. So what I've done was figured out a program that works for me, right? So I exercise more, change the diet, the weight is coming off, the aches and pains that I once had are no longer there. My thinking clear. That could be quite dangerous for a lot of people. I'm just going to put that disclaimer out there. But my thinking is much clearer. My tolerance level is a little bit better. I still get annoyed with a lot of you. That's just me, right? But and also watching my younger brother and my younger sister plant-based kitchen on the check-in. We got Chef A, DJ Chef A. Come on, let's go. We got plant-based kitchen in Stop playing with me, family. What's up, family? How y'all doing?
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
Our house. Peace with us, Sister Toni. One of my favorite couples ever.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that. I give thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I'm not always like this. I'm not a camera person, but you know what? This I do for my
I'm
people.
surprised to see Ariel on. He normally in the background, in the cut.
You already know. Yeah, you already
How's the
know.
Young Kings doing?
Yeah.
They doing well. Artist is about to graduate and go to college this year already. That's fast.
Mm-hmm.
And Prophet's graduating next year.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Time's going by. They're not babies no more.
No.
At all, right?
You
You know,
remember when you used to
On the
have
check.
them in
Shout
the
out to my cousin.
center?
She said that food was delicious. Thanks for putting me on. She got
What
plant
food?
based.
Oh, our
And when you gave it to me, you told me to send it out, didn't you?
Oh, shoot.
She's
That's
vegan
what's up.
too.
food.
That's love.
I
Wow.
put my
That's
cousin
love.
on. You know what I'm saying? I
Oh,
gotta look out for her
wow.
well-being too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
So
that's
y'all
love.
Oh my
getting the love
goodness.
already.
Yeah, I
Yes,
appreciate that.
I
So
appreciate
tell us.
it.
I want to know. I want the people to know what is plant-based. What the hell is
Ooh,
that? And who are y'all?
you taking it?
All right, so yeah, plant based. It's a unique restaurant. So we came up with the name plant based, and it's spelled BASS. Some people like to say bass. It's not a fish. We don't eat fish over here. We don't eat anything that have eyeballs and that crap or whatever, anything like that. But it's plant based. So we actually incorporate it with music, and so usually people like to get happy when they eat when it's
Yes,
something that tastes good. And
yes.
so therefore it gives you that energy. You know what I'm saying? So therefore that's why we name it plant based. So we incorporate with music and our artists as far as our
Our
people,
culture.
our
Yeah,
culture.
we name it after.
And so we name it after the with the food. So you have what's his name?
Like soul power, the mushrooms. That's the top. I think a lot of people love the mushrooms.
Yeah.
So we named that after James Brown, soul power.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Yeah.
have different ones there, like the sticky and if you think of like Buffalo Wild Wings, it's like that, but in different flavors: barbecue, sticky, classic, and Buffalo.
Yes.
So that's like the favorites of people,
And
what they like to order.
yes.
Yeah.
And so people that who like French fries, we actually make our fries out of boiled bananas.
Yes.
So it's not going to sit in your stomach very high, heavy. So
Mhm.
it's like a light thing. Yeah.
That's what's up. So I want y'all to flow with this interview like Tad Ashe and myself. We don't know y'all because we want our people to get the full effect. We don't want no bias over here. But again, our audience know we come with real ones over here. So I personally had you cooking before. Tad had it, Ashe had it. We busted down. But
you did.
when I hear others say that, and Tad ain't even vegan, he ain't playing them kind of games. But busting
Nope.
that food down that day, I think he had the shrimp that day, the shrimps,
It was the
right, Tad?
He had the mushroom. Yeah.
yeah
He had the classic.
mushrooms. Yeah, like it was almost like chicken, but it was mushrooms and it was banging, and I couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
See,
we
I
like
just
to
had
do.
new recipe.
I think Tashima said the buffalo wings make you want to smack your mama.
Oh my gosh.
She said she hungry now. You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and Tashima, my cousin, I gotta get you on Tashima because you got an event coming. I think next week, right? Next weekend. We gotta talk about that. But anyway, I digress. What made you guys want to go vegan in the first place? What was happening in your life at that particular time to make you want to do that?
All right, so it was a journey at one point to where I was watching a documentary. It was in '09, I think. It was in '09. It was a documentary that's Food Inc. It was Food Inc. And I was watching it, and I mean, when I watched it, man, at the end of it, I was like, oh man, this gotta go. This gotta be ending. So, eventually I didn't end it then. I was gradually getting into that. It started from the time of 2015.
Yep.
And then I was, transitioning into from one point, Ashe knows, where we was eating like seafood.
Yeah.
Ashe used to get on our back about that. Like, yeah, y'all eating that seafood, this, seafood, that, da, da. And then just from that point on, we just did it. We was like, yo, we done. We finished. And during that time, it was a little hard because at the end of the day, it was kind of hard for us to put food together because during them time, plant-based wasn't so popular, or vegan wasn't so popular back then. So it was kind of hard to get those type of place to be put together and make a good meal. So therefore we was doing like rice and beans and salad and things like that. We just didn't know how to put it together. Like, oh man. So YouTube wasn't really giving us too much like that at the time, or whatever the case may be. So it wasn't as popular, like I said. So then we end up getting to like know certain people, within the circle. And
it started from Dick Gregory, remember?
Dick Gregory, yes. Shout out to him.
You was researching that, and then led you into Dr. Sebi.
Yeah. And yeah. So that goes from that point on, Dr. Sebi and Dr. Lila Africa. Big up to them. You know what I'm saying, with the spiritual realms. That they still around because they still have the knowledge behind where I'm sharing to the people as far as through the food. However, so then it started from there, and then I started putting things together as far as like mushrooms. I wasn't a person who didn't like mushrooms. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not like mushrooms. I was one of those people that said no to mushrooms. I don't care. I don't like the way it tastes, the way it looks. I never cared. So then I started playing around with it. I was like, what, let me just give it a try. You know what I'm saying? Start playing around with it, see if I can make it as close as what people are accustomed to. Whether if it's to like fried fish or fried chicken or something like that, whatever case it be. So that people don't get so disgusted of it, So then I started, cooking it, and then I started cooking like black wild rice, quinoa. Then I started mastering fonio, things like that. So I started like literally white rice was like obsolete for a very, very long time out of living, so that was one of the biggest things that we started like, really getting into like another level to, a way of eating. So yeah, that was pretty much it.
That's what's up. So I like that you said you played around with the food. Most chefs or cooks, create that way, right? Me myself, I play around in the kitchen, and I got a greedy husband and greedy kids. They will try anything. See what I'm saying? So that that works. So now that you have plant based, what made you want to pair your dishes with various music? I think that's extremely interesting. I love the concept.
Yeah. Tony, you can say something about that because
Well, you came up with the name, and I was like, oh shoot! I was like plant based, plant based, and I was like, we can use that as naming our dishes after artists that we like. And since we love music and we like to DJ, that's how that came together. So I set up the soundtrack for people to create a playlist and pick their foods. So that's when I came in and did that. He came up with the name, and I came up with the concept. Yeah.
Let me ask you real quick. Was it hard to get your sons to transition to being vegan, or was they just raised being vegan?
That's a good question. No, they wasn't raised. We started. We transitioned them. They was in 4th and 5th grade.
Yeah, it seemed no. It was no.
It was 3rd and 4th.
It was very young. It was like
probably 3rd and 4th grade because they was downtown Brooklyn at the elementary school. So when we told them, artists was like, "Can we get one more year of seafood?" I was like, "No, we're doing it now."
Yeah,
we're doing it now because I love seafood too. I ate everything. When some people say that it's hard for them that they can't do it, I'm like, I ate everything, like everything. I ate chitlins. I ate all that stuff.
The halal chitlins. The halal.
The halal chitlins.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. And now I'm 9 years plant based, so I know people.
My sister.
Pat or punishment.
Well, I remember I caught Prophet one time. We transitioned, right? That first year we transitioned. And I went into school and I caught him eating chicken. And I was like, "Get that chicken out your mouth!" He dropped it. It was so funny. Oh my god, I would never forget that. It was so funny. But yeah, he was gonna miss chicken. Prophet and artists miss seafood, but now I don't know what they do at school because we try to implement everything, but I don't know what they do when they with their friends.
Yeah,
like their children.
They are plant-based, yeah, as far as
Yeah.
we know.
So since y'all follow Dr. Sebi's nutrition plan,
Yes.
talk to me about the process vegan food versus the natural, because I know y'all pretty much use natural foods.
Yes, we try our
Some
best.
are vegan, but they eat a lot of processed foods. Talk
Right.
about that. Somebody who may be
Oh,
trying.
yeah, that's on you.
All right. So, you know, everybody in life is not perfect. However, I would say I implement most majority of my food will be like 70 to 80% of naturalness, of strictly natural. So therefore, our food would take much more longer than most other people that they are accustomed to as far as fast food. So when people be like, "Yo, I want my food real fast," nah, that's not what plant-based what we do over here. It's not like that. It takes time, strictly from down all the way down to the sauce, down to wherever, you know. Um, so the thing is that when it comes down to that, it pretty much it tastes good when it's from scratch. Obviously, if you never had the food, so therefore it tastes good from scratch because now you're talking about the nutrition in it. You know what I'm saying? As opposed as the fast food or the vegan. I'm gonna use that word vegan because vegan is not good. That most people have that a little confused when it comes down to plant based and vegan, two different things. You know, so therefore, vegan is pretty much a problem right now that's being misled into into the neighborhood of having our people to follow because they do want to eat good, but they believe that vegan is the way to go, but it's not.
But now, why is vegan a problem? What makes it a problem?
All right, so vegan pretty much is like you said, is food that is processed. You know, like you have breads, you have white bread that's processed. You know, a lot of vegans like to
White
eat.
rice.
They eat a lot of bread. They eat a lot of white rice. They eat a lot of as long as it's not animal in it. That's how they look at it.
Right. Okay.
You know?
And that's why they get cancerous or overweight.
Yeah.
Because they're not eating natural foods. They just eating stuff that says vegan and it has a lot of chemicals like Impossible Burger. What's the other one? Beyond Burger.
Beyond Burger.
All these Just Egg, like all these
processed
things
food
that's made up,
you know,
together. That's vegan.
They make them taste so good because
they put extra. Yeah, they put extra ingredients in it for you to come back. Just like Oreo cookies. You know?
Oreo
like,
cookies is vegan too.
Yeah, it's considered vegan.
And it has soy.
Yeah. And soy is a very dangerous thing to eat.
Well, thank you. Because, I like chicken. I like beef ribs. So I'm going to eat that. But I'm still going to eat some of y'all fried mushrooms.
Yeah,
I'm
that's love. Yeah.
That teriyaki carrot y'all got.
Yeah, that's,
eat some of that.
Yeah, that's love.
But I think it's important that people get the proper information because, to your point, people just say, you know what, I don't eat meat, but they will eat processed bread. They will eat processed bleached rice, bleached flour, all of these things that go through the milling process and rob the food of its natural nutrients, and then think they're really doing something when, as Sister Toni said, it's very cancerous.
Yes, it is. And that's why a lot of people are starting to have the stats of it, of saying those who transfer from eating the way they was eating into vegan, that the stats is going up with the cancer level. Because once again, you got to remember those processed food still have these type of high chemicals in it. And most of all, estrogen. The estrogen in the food is high, very, very high. And that goes with soy and a lot of other things. You know what I'm saying? That's the chemical actually have as far as estrogen levels to be spiking up. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, when that happens for the men, and that goes. You know how that goes. It pretty much lower your testosterone. I always say testosterone.
Testosterone,
right? Yeah. And so that throws it off, and therefore you have these boys looking a little funny out there in the street.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that why some vegan dudes are very sensitive? Because I guess Ashe eat plant based. We say vegan because Ashe just be aggressive for no reason. So Plain most vegans I know are sensitive. But they be on go time. So it's because
Yeah,
he don't eat the processed vegan, he eats the natural stuff. Okay, it makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
that's what's happening
You
to
you right, Sister Farnessa. Sister Farnessa says soy messes up your thyroid. It
Yes,
definitely
it
does.
does.
Go
Yes,
ahead, didn't mean to cut
it
you.
does.
right.
Yes, it
Yep.
does. Yeah, the thyroids, everything, and like the women, it messes with the women obviously with
Mm.
cancer in the breast and things like that. And just like she said, thyroids. A lot of women have these thyroid issues going on. It's heavy, very very bad. It's a bad thing. Thyroid cancer and everything.
And we want to say thing too. The best way is raw, but we didn't get there yet. Like to have 100% raw, eating fruits and
Yeah,
I'm still on
um
that journey, sis. I'm still there.
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the best. I want to try to do 50 and 50 because I know the heat takes the nutrients out the food, but I love cooked food. So I'm gonna try my best just to do 50 and 50 because I love cooked food. I'm not
Mhm.
there yet. I think I'm 20%. We
Me too.
20% raw and 80% cooked, right?
Yeah, I
Something
mean,
like that. We
I only go by the alignment of things, what I'm
yeah.
saying, like where my energy is at, to be honest with you. Because sometimes pushing certain things will allow you to like actually push away from certain things,
That's
So
true
I
too.
don't we had this journey before, me, Ashe, Tony, my wife, and her mother. So we
Yeah.
had this journey before and we did the 20-day, and so to be honest with you, yeah, it was cool. But then when we was like approaching our last few days, it was like
We wanted some cooked
we
food.
was like fiend out to eat something cooked. Like we was doing the countdown like it was the New Year's. Like yo, so it was weird. It was just like okay, we act like we never had it before. You know what I'm saying? Like okay, we had it the rest of our life. I mean, that's how it was. What we did, what it was is that we was purging. That's what it
Mm.
was, and we was
But
trying to
our
chase
skin
it.
looked good
But
though.
our
The
skin, when we
skin was
look,
looking
yeah,
nice.
that was Avatar. That we already had
We
a sec.
felt
Yeah,
good.
we already before Avatar 2 came out. We already had Avatar 2 out.
Y'all was talking to the
We was
plants.
shining. We was shining. We was shining. You couldn't tell us nothing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, we was looking good. We was looking good. COVID couldn't even touch us. I mean, couldn't touch us. Yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
what's up. Cause it is difficult. Right now after because I talked to Sister Tony when I first started, right? I let her
Mm.
know that I was gonna go raw. Told my cousin Tasha to go raw, my sisters.
Mm.
Just because I had visited a physician's office, I didn't like his approach to my illness. So I
Mm.
said, thank you. I'll do it myself. Thank you very much. I'll be back. So
Mm.
again, all of you know that I am an intense researcher. I just don't go what people tell me. I don't. And I research everything. So again, I figured out a plan that worked for me and I needed an immediate result because I wanted to prove to the physician
Mm.
that what our educators were giving us was factual and what they were trying to do was not, right? So I did that, and then, as you said, brother Ariel, when I got closer to the 60 days, I was really fiending. Like I wanted a hamburger so bad,
Mm-hmm.
bad. So what I did was, when I got to the 60 day, I started to incorporate cooked food. So I would have steamed vegetables or whatever. But my first meal after the 60 days, I just had a small, like, little bowl about that big of vegetables, steamed. But I was so full, right?
Yes.
During
Mhm.
the 60, so full. And I went out with Tad and Ashe, I think last week or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Me and TJ had the same meal. Tad was going in. But me and Ashe had the same
I
meal.
got
I could
oxtails.
not finish.
Don't think about it. I got
He was going
oxtails.
in.
Carrots.
He was going
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
But I couldn't finish it. And then immediately, like I was saying to Ashe, we were sitting there, now that I am slowly incorporating cooked foods, I try to do it like maybe 2 times a week. or 3 times a
Mm.
week, whenever I have the feeling for it. But most of the time, I've been having soups because I realized the density of the cooked food, because I had been off of it for so long, immediately my heart begins to race, right? Even
Mm.
foods that have minimal salts and things like that, I can taste it so bad, so badly. A friend of mine had made a fruit parfait, cooked,
Mm.
of course, but it was so sweet. It's like I
Mm.
had to drink a gallon of water after. So I said I got to go back, right? And then I started to feel certain things within my body. So I'm like, oh, can't do this anymore. I just can't. I can't. I can't. So what I'm doing now is the majority of my diet, I have the 80-20 rule. 80% of it is raw, 20% of it is cooked. No, I have not given up meat. I just haven't indulged in it yet. However, I don't have a desire to do so, right?
Mm.
So I'm not going to say that I'm not, but I will say for certain the majority of my diet, I die, will be raw. I can't do it anymore. I can't. So
Yo,
when I
just
went
be
back to
careful,
my
yo.
physician, yeah, you have to be careful. I went back to my physician the 36th day, right? That I was doing it, and he was saying, "You lost 16 pounds." I said, "Okay." So then he said, "Well, what are you doing?" I said, "Eating." He said, "What are you eating?" I said, "Nutrition." So he said, "What nutrition?" If you have to ask me and you're the physician, the time is running down. I have to go.
Because they study medicine. That's why.
So he
Mm.
so he says you do know that we get less than an hour of nutritional study. I say yes, and that's why I shouldn't be explaining you because I don't got time. And
Mm.
you pay the university to give you that information. You have not
Mm.
offered me a dime. So
Exactly.
back months when I come for my checkup, have a nice day. So I had to take my personal health in my own hands. I do like a lot of plant-based dishes, but again, like brother Ariel said, he was a hater of mushrooms. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the only cooked mushrooms I ate was from y'all. I don't
Wow.
like it. I don't like the texture. Not
Mm.
everybody does it right, and I still can't find nobody who made it like y'all. So I'm not
Wow.
eating it.
Crazy. That's
Yes.
what's
And
up.
people say you should eat this, you should eat that, you should eat this, you should eat that. But I'm not a lover of everything. So
Mm.
Right.
even in me eating raw, I only eat the fruits and vegetables that I have always liked. I don't like kiwis. I never will. I don't like the way they look. So I'm not gonna eat it. Right? Food has to be visually appealing to you. And going back to plant-based kitchen, as my cousin said in the chat, the food is appealing. So it makes people want to try it. Now, I say
Mm.
boycott the Super Bowl, and I think my uncle said the NBA All-Star game or something is coming too.
Oh.
So for those of you who are changing or transitioning how you eat, and if you live in this area, you can call Plant-Based Kitchen and they can drop your things off to you and you can be a part of the crew if you want to, if that's your thing.
That's
You know what
Yes.
love.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they
Yes.
so the link is in the chat, it's on the screen. Tell the people where you deliver to, first of all, because I don't want y'all to get calls from Kentucky and you can't get food in.
Oh my God.
We'll fed that shit overnight. They got the pack.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, are you on Grubhub or anything like that?
We was on DoorDash, but we have to get another location for the DoorDash. So with the site, since we was Square, Square is like a third party carrier. So when the person places their order, it gets sent to the carriers. So whoever's in the area is either gonna be DoorDash or Postmates that will deliver your food. And it seemed like it goes to Queens, like the beginning of Queens too, if I'm not mistaken. Like it's interesting, but it's good. It's a good way for you to get your food. And and you can pick it up if you don't want to pay delivery fees. Some people like to pick their food up.
Well, y'all deliver also though, right?
Yeah,
Yourself. Oh,
yeah.
so
On
the
the
audience
site it
gets
says
to
pick
actually
up or
meet you both.
delivery.
They get
Yes,
to
both.
meet
Yes.
one or the other or both of you
Mm-hmm.
if they order. Okay. So do y'all like autograph mushroom bones and stuff like that?
I was waiting for you to say something. I was waiting.
Mushroom bone.
Yeah, we know how to tell you. Because I saw the seriousness coming, but then at the same time,
Then
I
he
knew
had
something.
his hand right here too.
Yeah. So you can't get us no more. No way. You know you for a long time now.
Yo,
You have to pull off that with somebody else.
mushroom bone. Yo, I wanted to ask, can y'all talk about the because there's a lot of benefits of going plant-based. And I feel like when you talk about plant-based or vegan or whatever to people that are non-vegan, especially probably a lot of our followers that might not be plant-based, they get intimidated, you know? So can y'all talk about like the benefits of it? And, you know, because I know it's more than just health. When we talk about vegan or being plant-based, a lot of people that are non-vegan or non-plant-based think like, oh, this person is bougie. Like, you know how many times I got people call me bougie or stuck up or egotistical because I'll be like, nah, I can't have that. I can't have that. You know what I'm saying? People think it's like you coming from a bougie place or whatever. But can you talk about the benefits of being plant-based? Because I know it's like not just your health and your physical, but it's also a mental thing and a physical thing. I mean, a spiritual thing, like your overall quality of life. Like, what is y'all quality of life since y'all became plant-based? And what would y'all say to somebody that as soon as you say, oh, you should go plant-based, they be like, nah, I can't do that. I can't. You feel me? Like, what was your quality of life of switching it, and what would you tell those people?
All right, so bad, yeah. So what it is that I'm gonna stick to the mental and the spiritual way of how, like you said, I'm gonna stick to that. So the thing is that when eating like a plant-based, you know, it would give you a humbleness of yourself. It would actually humble the things that you need to pay attention to, as you know, as opposed as it would gain more how should I say patience into your ways of life. Because most of the time we're very aggressive, you know. Aggressive usually leads into a lot of things that pass by you. And if you're aggressive, obviously you don't see certain things that person show you, and you don't hear what that person is telling you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so therefore you're not latching on to things that you need in order for you to move on to another, you know, life or a higher life. I come to realize that when I see a person who's very agitated, and all of what I see is this person have a lot of sugar intake and a lot of parasites.
Wow.
Trust me. And a lot of, once again, estrogen in them. And if you know what estrogen, how it plays off with a manner of you know, being so fussy, and so agitated, and so argumentative. And you know that plays a lot of that plays a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so therefore, like I said, once again, it does mess with the behavior of that individual that who compared to as a person that who not plant-based, and as a person as far as who is plant-based, you know. And so as far as people that who say that they're, you know, you bougie and things like that, see, just that attitude alone, if had you thought about saying that to that person, then you would see how offensive it could be to the person who's receiving it, you know, because your attention is to take a shot at me, which I didn't come off to you and say, yo, I'm pushing this on you and just take it. That's not how we come off. Now, you know, you may have some people who will come off in a strict way of being, but it's nothing that is giving you where it's going to actually make your life detrimental, you know what I'm saying, to death or something like that. They're giving you something to say, you know, you have issues with sinus, you have issues with asthma, and okay, I got something for you. Do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest with you, the most attacked will be those that who eat plant-based because of the fact that they're looking at it like, just like you said, you bougie, you this, you that, you this. No, that's not what it is. That's not what I am. If anything, you eat a percentage of what we eat, of what we mostly eat. You just eat some rice and then you may have a little side broccoli, see, or already. And then you may have chicken. All you got to do is take that chicken away and you're already on your way of going to a little transitioning into like, plant-based. Just move that chicken. So you eat in that way. It's just the fact that you just don't look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? So when they say that, it's just like it's like a war amongst us in a way, like you creating war. And that right there goes to let you know that's the European mindset right there alone. You know what I'm saying? We thinking like a European already. So we fighting with food now. You bougie. I'm not. I eat. Like, nah, that's not. When we started begging on food.
Remember, we was like, why would you want to be in your optimal health? Why does that make you bougie to be healthy?
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know we was begging.
And then some people say, "Oh, you're gonna die anyway." But I don't want to be having high blood pressure, diabetes, or be in a wheelchair. I want to be active. Like, why wouldn't I? And
I don't want nobody to be wiping my butt.
Yeah,
I want to wipe my own butt. You know what I'm saying? I want to change my own drawers. Nobody don't need. I don't need none of that. Oh, I can't bend over with my stomach all out and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't need all of that. I need to do this myself for at the age of 90 and all the way up to the point. I want to
play with my grandchildren.
Yeah,
when I have
and that's the goal. We all understand we're gonna all transition. We understand that.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, while you here, why not? Why not live to the highest of yourself? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we're here for. So like I said, once again, those that who still eat, whatever, meat and things like that. Nah, it's cool. It's cool because once again, I was a meat eater. So you cannot tell me how it is not to be a meat eater because I already had that. I already left that. I had that journey before and I left it. Mm-hmm. So my thing is that once again, that food banging, I'm gonna call it food gang banging or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it is because it'd be like a lot of sets out there that's on some. Yeah, I'm vegan. I'm not, and you not. And nah, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just sending out something for us to actually stop going through these type of diseases that's going through in the neighborhood. That's why it's hypertension, diabetes, cancer, things like that. So therefore, like I said, what you said, as far as a mental thing, you had to change the mental in order for you to change the disease. Okay, straight up. Yeah. That's what it is.
Some food
overweight.
No, I'm laughing because
Now, what do you say to people who say that to go plant-based or to be vegan is expensive? How do you answer that question? Because looking on your service menu right now, it's extremely affordable. So I don't know, and me being high raw, I spend less money and I eat organic. So go ahead, answer that.
Right. So automatically, when a person who eats meat, the chicken or the ribs or the halal pork that they buy, that alone is the majority of your grocery. Like the money itself that you spend, just the meat alone, that alone. So we already know the meat is very expensive, period. And it's keep on going up. So then now you got to buy the rice, you got to buy the vegetables. And so, our people we tend to not like buying vegetables. We just buy the rice and the meat. That's it. I don't know what it is with that. I really don't know. However, but when it comes down to our food, we're looking at the quality of it. Not only just by looking at the quality, the question is, what do we use to cook our food?
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So we have a particular oil that we use, which is grapeseed oil
and avocado
oil, sesame seed oil, things like that. So you're not just only paying for the actual visual of what you see, you're actually paying for what you take in as far as what it was cooked in. And even the little sprinkles, which is what?
The hemp seeds and the fresh jalapenos.
Everything is what you pay. You're paying for all of that. And all of those things had nutrition in it. So you pay for quality food. As opposed as you go somewhere else, I can't speak for them. They may be giving you canola oil. I don't know. They may be giving you olive oil cooked in olive oil, which is not the correct way. I hate to tell people that. You're not supposed to cook with olive oil. You're not supposed to. That's actually dangerous too. A lot of people don't know that. And if you do, you could only cook it up to 120 degrees. You know? And if it go above that, then it's carcinogenic. Then you have a problem. You know, so yeah. So that's the big thing.
Oh,
I like
and
also how you have on your site too instructions about heating up your food. You know, because
yes.
I haven't owned a microwave in like I don't know how many years now, but I don't understand how people use that contraption anyway. But that's just me. Anyway, you had those instructions also on your site, which I think is was very interesting when I first saw it. Because when you order from most places, nobody tells you to stay away from the microwave.
Yes, they
Exactly.
don't. Or they microwave it in the restaurant. Like I remember we was in a restaurant, we was like, "Oh, you microwaving that? Please don't do that. We gonna warm it up at home."
Yeah.
I was like, "No,
Big
please."
Big time.
Yes.
You just like throwing it into the how should I say the radiation field like just that's and then feed radiation to my body.
And guess what we learned the other day about the microwave? I didn't know. Maybe y'all know. The microwave was invented like during the World War One or two, something like that.
Yeah,
World War Two.
World War Two.
And it was for not for food, and then they implemented it into the food. So you don't supposed to be microwaving your food. It's the same thing as the cell phone going to your head. It's boiling the water in your head.
Yeah.
So, and then if it says on the microwave with a warning, if a pregnant woman stands in front, it's gonna kill a baby.
Yeah.
What you think it's doing to your food, and you digesting it in your body. So that was interesting. That I learned. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't own a microwave. You know.
No.
Microwave. We just stay away from it.
It's probably been over 15 years.
That's a very dangerous thing to do. It's to microwave your food. Because after that point on, you might as well eat rubber. You know, to be honest with you, because it's dead now. You killed the nutrition in the food. You killed everything in it. You know, and then it's not going to taste the way of what we gave it to you originally. So don't blame it on us. You did the microwave. I didn't do that.
Like, oh.
So we put it there to say don't use the microwave for a reason, because that's not the way how plant-based tastes. So just so you know, big time.
And people can buy like cheap.
Yeah, because then if you put the microwave the mushroom in a microwave, it's gonna come out looking like a flip flop. So
yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And then if people want to get like cheaper fruit and vegetables, and that's organic, they can join a food co-op, or go to the farmers market. That's a good way. Instead of like Whole Foods or something like that, because sometimes Whole Foods have the GMO and all that stuff too. So we signed up to the food co-op, and that's how we get our mushrooms and our bar bananas and our avocado, and that's how we serve the people like that. So we want them to eat how we eat. So
yeah,
that's what's you. I'm glad you mentioned that about Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. You know, they be having stuff shipped in from China. You gotta read stuff when you go in the store. You gotta pay attention.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Whole Foods, they bring in lettuce and all of that from China. So y'all keep messing with people if you want.
Yeah, you don't want to deal
fake
with
lettuce.
them.
But anyway, I like what you mentioned to the food co-op. We have one near here. But I also ride my bike like early Saturday mornings down to the farmers market. I like to ride my bike down there. Get what I gotta get and head on back home. I wanted to ask, and then I'm gonna pass the mic to my brothers because we running out of time. I wanted to ask if you guys provide catering services, because I know a lot of people got events coming up, and you got people who are plant-based and they looking for something that's good, and I need to know if I should recommend you guys or not.
Yes, like small catering service, probably like up to 40 people in that way. Yeah, small.
Yeah.
And do
I
you
mean,
have your own kitchen or you use a ghost kitchen?
We use our own kitchen, and we're thinking about going to a kitchen, moving to a kitchen on Atlantic and Grant Avenue. That's
yeah,
like
in
close
that
to
area.
downtown Brooklyn,
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
area. Yeah.
They also got them over there on Utica Avenue too. There's a
Yes.
restaurant I used to order from. They have a ghost kitchen over there, soul food restaurant. Yes.
Yes. They do have one on Utica.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have
Probably
it's a lot of,
outside.
yeah, there's a lot of interesting things out there that, as far as like I'm getting myself into, as far as like in the food section of things. You know, we had a good, good brother of ours. I'm gonna shout him out. His name is Master Mr. G.
Mr.
Yeah,
G.
Mr. G.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hooked me up with some nice honey, and he did a, it was some people say, what the hell, well, honey, you don't supposed to be doing no honey, but this type of honey that we had is called black bee honey. Now, black bee honey, and if anybody was listening to Dr. Sebi, he would tell you if you're a person who is a plant-based eater, that's the only honey that you could actually consume. Now, this black bee doesn't do what the regular bee does as far as um how should I say
Vomit.
vomit out the honey.
Yeah.
The black bee actually produce in a different way what the other regular black bee other bees do. So they produce once a year though. It's a red honey. And this honey actually is pretty good for people that who have issue with their eyes, you know. So yeah, I just want to give a shout out to him, and he hooked me up. And this is something that I'm trying to get myself into as far as like, get my hands on that. You know what I'm saying?
What is
So
it?
shout out to,
Glaucoma and
yeah,
cataracts.
it helps with glaucoma and cataracts and
Yes.
people that who have the actual issue with their eyes, and it start taking out the mucus out their eyes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna give a shout out to KT too as well, because he talks about it too as well. So, I just want to just put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
But
like how you stress the element of healing, because a lot of our people, most of our people, I would say, don't eat, for the benefits. They eat, the only benefit they eat for is their eyes and their taste buds. You know what I'm saying? But that's not even what food is for. And like so many of our black people are ill. We sick mentally and physically. And like I like how you keep incorporating the healing element to it. And I would like y'all, before we cut out, just keep talk a little bit more about the healing side of it, because people forget, like every day we go through stuff and we get sick, we get colds, or we get real illnesses and diseases and things like that. But we forget that these things are curable. You know what I'm saying? Whether you go to cancer or you go to AIDS, HIV, whatever you want to talk about, like these things are actually curable. And I know that even a lot of my women friends, my sisters that I know, have told me that there's so many benefits of going plant based. Like their cycle, they barely even have it. You know what I'm saying? Or even like what you were saying about earlier with brothers, and they look feminine or whatever the case is, or any illness. Like I know that you can hear that they say food is the medicine, and they always quote that to that Greek philosopher, but really I believe that was one of the Kemet philosophers back in the days that
Mm-hmm.
actually said that. Tad would know, I can't remember, I can't recall. But yeah, but just talk about that real quick, healing, because I know a lot of our people right now might be listening to this and might be ill, or might have somebody that is close that they love that's going through something, and all we keep doing is relying on the hospitals. Like Keisha said, her testimony, she ain't like when the doctor told her what to do, and it didn't sound right to her soul, so she had to go out and do it on her own. And Keisha, you have no idea, like you are a huge inspiration to me and everybody, especially with what you did with the 60 days raw. Like he just said, we did 20 days and I was ready to give up. So 60 days,
Yes.
that's very impressive, yo. So
Yes.
yeah,
big,
definitely.
big influence to me. But just touch on that again about the healer side, brother.
Yeah. So yeah, so with that being said, like food is our, medicine. That's pretty much it. Like if you just eat the right food and take it in as natural as possible, just like Sister Keisha's doing, as far as like naturally, just without cooking and things like that. But if you can't do that, then you could also do with the cooked food. With some, I don't want to really chase people away. Say, oh, I have to just be cold or raw, whatever. Not necessarily. Just take baby steps. However, but what I'm saying is that the elements in those foods and the nutrition in those foods will actually heal certain issues that people's going through, whether if it's diabetes, hypertension, people that who's suffering from glaucoma, things like that. So like I said, once again, people who want to shed off a few pounds, if you eat if you eat this way, then pretty much you would actually avoid of those things. As far as what our people are suffering from. So like I said, once again, the best thing is to eat fruits. Fruits is the number one key. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of our people do not. And when I say our people do not, for some strange reason, we do not eat fruits. We just against it. And if we do, we like it blended up in smoothies. No, eat it straight. I mean, just
and
bite.
when you first wake up.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. So when you first wake up and you want to break your fast, after 12, I say 12 is the best. No, you eat a bowl of fruits. Okay, and then pretty much it'll show you over time. You will see yourself actually a lot of things, a lot of amazing things will happen. You will sleep better. Mucus will come out you a little more better, escape from you. You know what I'm saying? And so there's a lot of things that you could get from fruits, with the nutrition that it have and holds. Yeah.
And we sell herbs as well. That could be for another topic,
herbs,
I guess,
but that's
that's a
topic.
lot.
Yeah, we do sell herbs. Yeah, we do sell herbs. So.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But before we go, as we winding down, shout out to your mama. You know I love your mother, Sister Toni. So I had to give her some love. Make sure you show her this clip.
Yes,
she had an
saw
event. I didn't quite make it to. I had other things going on. Sister Toni kicked me out. Wasn't cool. She kicked me out. Shay, can you believe that? No, I'm just kidding. But things happened. I couldn't get inside. I just wanted to give her a shout out.
That's
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. So what y'all want to say? Closing once
Sister
again.
Fonessa said, before you go, what are your thoughts on juicing?
Oh.
What's my thought on juicing? It's really good. It's really good. Once you do, when you juice raw, yes, it gives you all the nutrition. But like I said, once again, I repeat,
in the combinations,
but the combination, that's another level. That's just another level.
Yeah.
But eating fruits is the best. I would never tell you anything else. It's the number one top. Just eating it, you get the most out of it. Because when you breaking it down and grinding it and chopping it up, you taking away certain elements of it. So yeah. But
somebody asked about the air fryer too. What do y'all feel about that?
I don't have too much.
Yes.
I have not looked so much about it, but I do know anything like that, and that's coming into the industry. What we don't know is new to us. Evidently, I know not to trust something that I don't know. Like, to be honest with you, and I just
and like you said earlier too, whatever you frying, if it's frying, you got to make sure whatever oil you're using is right. So we would just say that, like, do your own research. We don't know everything. We learning as we go at the same time. Yeah. But your oil, if you frying anything, you got to use the right oil, right?
And try to use some chickpea flour, because that's what we use to cook our mushrooms. We don't use starch, so we use chickpea flour.
Yeah. Very light.
They have that at Whole Foods and some farmers markets. So just look out for that. Garbanzo bean flour. It says garbanzo bean flour or chickpea flour, but it's the same thing.
There you go, your protein right there. People say, "Oh, I can't get no protein if I don't eat no meat." Nope. Look at that.
Yeah. Don't worry about proteins. The actual what replace protein is iron. That's the key. Iron is the key, not protein. Protein, no, that's nonsense. It's iron. Keep your iron up. You'll live long. You live long.
Yep.
Wow. That's what's up.
Well, I'm glad that you guys came and blessed us today. We definitely got to have you black again on this platform, because I ain't get to all my questions.
Yes,
Anyway,
we gotta talk about the
anyway,
herbs and stuff.
we gotta have you back.
I appreciate
That's
you.
what I
Yeah,
wanted to get to. The supplements that you guys have.
yeah.
We gotta get you back on for sure. Cause I gotta dig in. I gotta dig in.
Yes, I
We
appreciate
definitely
every one of you.
appreciate
Yeah.
you. Brothers and sisters, the link is in the chat. If you in this area, you can order from them. What is it, Wednesday through Saturday?
No, Wednesdays and
The
Saturday.
link is on our thorough Wednesdays and Saturdays. The link
Yes.
is on our Thorough Black Talk Facebook page. You guys can click the link. Place orders if you're in this area. They out of Little Haiti, Haiti. So
Mm-hmm.
they can get to you quick, or as she said, you can have it delivered to you. If you have an event, they will service up to 40 persons
Mm-hmm.
in your party. One of my cousins is gonna book you, so
Oh,
look out for that.
okay.
Again, um, yes, sis. Go ahead, sis.
No, I said that. I said okay.
And you got Super Bowl parties too. I know y'all was in here mad at me when I was talking about that damn Super Bowl. I know y'all was like, damn you, Ashe, I can't have nothing. Well, here you go. Balance it out. You can book them for 40 people for your Super Bowl party, and you can sit there and watch Rihanna, but eat plant-based kitchen. There you go.
Man. Yeah.
You can't
And
take
the
away
food
their
is good. I wouldn't have had them. I would.
Yeah, Keisha tell it straight. I'm not even gonna play.
You already
If
know.
Tag can
Keisha
bust
always
it
tell
down,
it
y'all can bust it down.
straight.
I mean, before we go,
So thank
we
you. We
had
appreciate you guys for coming in. Go ahead.
we had
Go ahead.
Miss Ma'at, Dr. Sebi's wife. We catered for her. So, evidently that tells a lot right there. So, I honor her for, choosing us to do
Yeah.
the honors of her event. So yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
Mhm.
Well, we gonna let
Well,
y'all go.
boys, I
We love
love.
y'all. We appreciate. This is our
Thank-
other family, y'all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Get the boys
Yeah.
I love and
Actually, you
shout
can
out to
see brother Ariel and sister Tony in our intro when we come on every Thursday. They're in the intro video, so y'all can see that we go way back with them. Go ahead, brother Ted. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes, definitely.
No, I was just saying, for them to give the family our love. We can't,
Yes.
you see them two all the time, but it's a whole family unit. You got Mama Love, you got Artist and Prophet, intricate parts of the family,
Yes.
Definitely
And
want
that's artist's song on the advertisement. I forgot to tell y'all.
Okay.
I didn't know. Yeah, I don't know if y'all knew that because I put it in the title. I said by artist.
Yeah, he's,
No.
he's into music now. He's
Yeah,
doing his
artist
thing.
is into
It's-
artist.
Mhm. Yep.
That was corny, right?
Oh, you named him. You
Yes.
named him. Oh,
Mhm.
Yo, that's what's up. In closing, yo, tell
it is
the
what
people
it
once
is.
more. Tell the people once more where they could find y'all. You know what I'm saying? How they could order, and whatever y'all want to leave the audience with. Y'all can do your closing right now.
All right, definitely. You could do that, Tony. That's your honor right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can find us at PLANTBASS .square.site SITE. Instagram PLANTBASS BK. TikTok PLANTBASS BK. Let me say. Oh, and Fanbase Plant. I want to say Fanbase is Black owned, and it's like Instagram and TikTok is Isaac Hayes' son, and his name is Isaac Hayes. So he started this like a year ago. So he's trying to get more people on here. So everybody sign up to Fanbase. I feel like I'm doing a whole commercial. Yeah, I forgot to say that.
All right. Well, thank you for coming out. God bless. Good night.
That's Russell Simmons.
No, but we definitely want to thank y'all. We definitely want to have y'all back because y'all touched on so many things that definitely got me intrigued because I'm thinking about becoming plant-based.
Oh,
Because I don't want to be a fussy hussy like Brother Ariel said happened to be going vegan.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's
You
cool
saw
though.
Tad face when you saw me.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool though. You know, like that'd be dope. You know,
He
because
said a
Tad
mushroom
is
bone.
kind of about to get.
Oh, we gotta talk about the water next time.
Tad is back on punishment after today.
That's just the Tony trying to sell Flint water. So you gonna talk about that? I'm good on that, sis.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yo.
Oh my goodness.
I can't. We didn't
No,
even
you know,
talk
talking
about.
about
We
something.
didn't even.
Talking
This is
about.
why we gotta have y'all back. We didn't even get to talk about y'all
Yeah, it's
humanitarian
over the time.
efforts. We didn't even talk about all of that. So we gotta
Yeah.
get on that next time y'all come through.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. We
It's so
definitely
much.
gotta get-
Sometimes I forget, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of other things that I can't even think of right now.
Fact.
Yes.
They real ones, y'all. I told you we only move with real ones. So the next time they come through, we're gonna deal with talk about their humanitarian efforts that they have done, not just here in the New York City area, but
What you talking about? Ukraine?
throughout the country and abroad.
I shake that
Well,
joke.
they was in Dubai. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God. We gotta talk about Zanzibar and TZ too. Next time.
And when y'all was down in Jamrock. Yeah, we got a lot to discuss.
Oh yes.
We got a lot to discuss. Family, on your screen, if you live in the New York City tri-state area, there is an event for Black girls. Saturday, February 25th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sports, wellness, and fitness for Black girls. You will see this information on Thorough Black Talk Facebook page and our Instagram page. Speaking of cousin Tashima, this is her baby, her organization, My Sister's Keeper, which is the sister component to SWAP. So you'll see us out there as well. So family, if you got children, you know children, come through. It's free. The information is there, how to sign up for the event, all of the details, double dutch, stretching and self-defense and Zumba classes and volleyball, all that. So make it happen, family. We'll see y'all Black again next Thursday. Brother, I share your final thoughts.
Yeah, salute to our guests, man. Definitely put in extensive research, extensive experimentation to bring you healthy options. You know what I'm saying? To heal ourselves and also taste good doing it. So, you know, we always bring the thoroughbreds up here. So yeah, definitely wanna, and you're gonna be very surprised, yo. I'm telling you, even if you're not plant-based, plenty, I've seen the looks on people's faces. Plenty of plant-based people that are not plant-based, that try plant-based food, and they like, yo, I think I might be able to go vegan after this. You might not have to go vegan. I'm just saying that's how good the food tastes. So hit them up. Make sure y'all support them and check out their food. I know y'all gonna be ordering McDonald's and all of these Chick-fil-A and all of that for the Super Bowl. Now you got some healthy option. I'm telling you, the mushroom tastes just like Chick-fil-A. I'm telling you. Well, I wouldn't know. I never had Chick-fil-A. But anyway, it's delicious, family. So it's your brother Ashe signing out. Always remember, true courage is knowing how to suffer, and the battlefield is where you stand. Brother Tad.
All right, all right. Definitely want to thank our brother Ariel and Sister Toni for stopping through. Sister Keisha done gave us a lot of jewels today. You know, keep your eye out for those kidnapping clubs. They still exist. They still go on. Please be vigilant in protecting our children. In terms of diet and nutrition, which I don't like to really call it diet, I just like to call it nutrition. In terms of nutrition, we learned that there's a difference between plant-based and veganism. So a lot of these fussy hussies, dudes who testosterone is up, is because they eating vegan, not plant-based. Also, what I learned today too is be careful of the avocado oil. You can't use that because that'll raise your testosterone level and make your fussy hussy. You might be better off just
No, estrogen, bro. Estrogen.
on the back of the stove.
Estrogen, bro.
Olive
You got it
Yeah,
back.
it's
So
all.
olive
We
oil.
want to raise the testosterone level.
Wait.
Yeah,
Which
yeah, yeah.
one?
That's because you still eating meat, bro. You got the whole thing backwards.
Hold up. I'll show you.
Oh my
You were eating broccoli and rice and plantains. I know you wasn't full, bro. I know you wasn't full. When we left, I saw it in your eyes. You was going to get I knew it. I said,
Didn't
I know
he eat the rest of my food tag?
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I helped too, though, because them plantains.
There we go. That part right there.
Those
Your
plantains.
ass ate meat and you wasn't full, so who was?
Now I'm saying, but them oxtails was hitting though. Y'all get it? Oxtail gravy on this broccoli. He can front if he wants.
oh my
But we
God.
definitely appreciate y'all. We appreciate the information that y'all brought to us because we've heard it before, but it's always better coming from people who actually live the lifestyle as opposed to people who just speculate about the lifestyle. So we definitely appreciate y'all for that. And to our audience, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, rocking out with us, laughing with us, having fun. Though this is serious business, we always got to find time to smile, laugh, and enjoy the people you love, which are the people on this panel right now and the people who tune in. You know, we're one big family, we're one big tribe, and we always got to hold each other down. And we don't always have to be so mad all the time. That's not good for your health either. You can eat all the broccoli and carrot sticks you want, but if your temperament, your mood is always negative, then you're doing just as much harm as smoking crack or eating pickles pig feet.
Man.
But with that said, I want y'all to always find time to laugh, smile, enjoy life, because no matter how hard things may seem right now, it's always better days ahead. Sister Keisha.
Thank you guys for coming in and joining us. We'll see you guys thorough and black right back here on the Brooklyn Bridge next Thursday, 8 p.m. Tell somebody to tell somebody it goes down right here, baby. We got a great guest next week, a leading fashion designer. If you in Atlanta and you've been to Stone Hill Mall, you've seen the elegant luxury store, Bentley Fortune. We're going to have them in the building next week. Telling you, I'm coming with the real. Y'all have a good night and stay safe out there and keep it dangerous in these streets. We out.